All right, guys, welcome to another podcast. So, I've got a few mails and comments asking for an explanation on the New Zealand schools rugby seasons. So, I thought I'd go ahead and explain it as best I could. Well, it's fairly complex, but quite an ingenious school rugby structure. And like I said, I'm going to try and explain it as best I can. And look, if I get anything wrong, I would really appreciate some Kiwi followers to set the record straight. So in terms of an overview, they don't have any special festivals. It simply looks like they got pre-season friendlies and they got the championship. So, look, if South Africa got rid of our schools festivals and our Easter festivals, I think we could very easily set up a similar structure. So in New Zealand, it's divided into 4 regions. You've got the Blues, the Chiefs, the Hurricanes, and South Island. Starting off with the Blues, by far the most competitive. You got 3 regions. You got Auckland, North Harbour, and Northlands. And then what happens is that the top 4 from North Harbour meet in a knockout with the winner facing the Northlands champions. Then the winner of that game goes on to face the Auckland champions. And the winner of that final basically goes on to represent the Blues at what they call the top 4. So if you take a look at the 2018 Blues seasons, you can see that the North Harbour final was won by Westlake. And they played, here we go again, Kaitaia in the playoff game, and they made the Blues final, and then they played the winner of the Auckland final, between St. Peter's and Kings. St. Peter's went through. The final was between St. Peter's and Westlake. St. Peter's represented the Blues last year. Then the Chiefs, look, I have to admit that understanding this has been quite complex. So basically the top 4 of this year now, which is the Central North Island, play each other in a knockout competition. The winner of this competition plays the winner of the Super 8 competition. Then these two meet in what appears to be like a quarterfinal. And then there appears to be a Chiefs playoff between 2 Super 8 schools. And then the winner of this game faces the 4th place CNI in a knockout. This is what I'm thinking happens. I'm just going to show you last season's results. So maybe a Kiwi follower can explain this in a bit more detail for us. But this is how it went last year. So the CNI final was between Fielding and St. Paul's. The Super 8 final was between Hamilton Boys and Napier Boys. So then you had the CNI versus Super 8, which was St. Paul's against Hamilton. And then you had a Chiefs playoff, which was between Rotorua and Tauranga. And Rotorua finished 4th and Tauranga finished 8th in the Super 8. So basically the game after that was the Waikato versus New P Prep. I don't know what that means, but that was Hamilton Boys against New Plymouth. Hamilton Boys won that and went through to the Chiefs final. Then Wesley College, who finished 4th, I think, in the CNI, I believe, played Rotorua, who won that Chiefs playoff game, and Wesley won. And then Hamilton played Wesley in the final. Hamilton Boys went on to represent Chiefs in the 2018 top 4. Then got the Hurricanes, another confusing one, but I'll give it my best. So basically the top 4 of the Wellington League play in a knockout, and it appears that the 3rd and 6th ranked teams from the Super 8 are involved in a playoff game. Then the loser of the Super 8 final plays the loser of the Wellington final. And then the winner of the Super 8 playoff game plays the winner of the Wellington final. And then these 2 teams contest the final. So the Wellington final was between St. Pat's Town and St. Pat's Silverstream. They went on to St. Pat's Town went on to the semis, where they played Napier Boys, who were runners-up or losing finalists in the Super 8, I think it was. And then Hastings played Palmerston North in a Hurricanes playoff. And then you can see St. Pat's Silverstream played Hastings. And then the final was between Napier Boys and Hastings, and Napier Boys went through and represented Hurricanes. And then we get to, the South Island and the Blues appear to be the most easy parts to understand. So the Otago finals played, and then the winner of that game faces the Waitaki representative. And the winner of this game will basically face off against the Southland rep in a Highlanders final. Then the winner of the Highlanders final will face the winner of the Crusaders final. The winner of this match will represent the South Island at the finals. So the Highlanders final is between Otago boys and Southland boys. So the Otago boys went through. Then the Crusaders final was between Christchurch boys and Christ College. Christchurch boys went through. They beat Otago boys, and they represented the South Island at the top four. And basically what happens is the winner of each competition qualifies for the playoffs, as I've said, known as the top four. They're randomly drawn from each region, and the winners of the semi-finals are drawn to play the final. The loser plays in the third and fourth playoff match. So you can see St. Peter's played Hamilton boys, the Blues against the Chiefs. St. Peter's won that game. The Napier boys represented the Hurricanes. Christchurch boys the South Island. Napier boys won that game. And then the final was between Napier boys and St. Peter's won it. And as we know, how the New Zealand system works is that the winners of the New Zealand Schools Championship the next year go on to represent New Zealand at the Sanix Festival. And that's where you see that St. Peter's played Porous at the Sanix Festival. Alright guys, like I said, pretty complex to understand in some ways. I'm hoping for some clarification from some of our Kiwi followers so we can get a better understanding of it. But I like what the Kiwis have attempted to do with this, and I like the fact that there's like a national championship and a national champions crowned. I think it's quite a prestigious tournament, and I would like to see South Africa do something similar. Anyway, have a great week further, and thanks as always for watching and following, and don't forget to subscribe and click the like button and all the rest of that jazz. Cheers, bye.